Blender has so many different features and mechanics that it's hard to learn each and every one of them. However, there are some techniques that you need to master in order to upgrade from a beginner to a pro. Here is one trick that 95% of Blender beginners don't use in their workflow. If you're a Blender beginner, make sure to watch to the end of the video to make sure you master it. Of course, I'm talking about instancing. Instancing in Blender is the ability to create an instance or linked duplicate of a mesh. The linked duplicate carries the same material, edit, and animation data. You are essentially creating a new version of the mesh while ensuring it is exactly the same. Additionally, you can also edit them both in real time while only editing one mesh. Since linked duplicates use the same mesh info, it helps your computer save processing power, especially if you're creating a large scene like a forest. You definitely don't want to duplicate the trees one by one, each with their own data. Linking duplicates help keep your scene light. Additionally, they also save you time in creating materials and texturing your linked meshes. Hopping straight into Blender in a default file, let me just show you exactly how instancing can be better than duplicating. So again, let's look at the default file here and let's just delete everything. And let's add in a cube back into the scene. So here is the difference between instancing and duplicating. So just to show you what duplicating looks like, I'm going to press Shift D on my keyboard and move this cube here. As you can see, these two cubes are now their own individual object. However, they don't share any of the same properties. As you can see, if I edit this cube here, nothing happens to the other cube because they're independent of one another. However, let's just take the same cube and let's press Alt D on our keyboard and let's move it here. And again, these two are, they're their own meshes and everything. But if we go back to one of the cubes here and let's go into edit mode and let's edit them, you can see that both meshes are going to move. And that's because the second cube here, cube 001, is taking mesh data, animation data, material data from the original cube, and it doesn't have one of its own. So since that's the case, it's also lighter on Blender and lighter on your computer, not requiring as much processing power in order to, render out these two cubes. And you can even see that if I edit the duplicate cube, it will edit the original cube as well. And this applies to everything that you do in edit mode, including scaling, moving vertices, moving the whole object, and so on and so forth. So let's get back a normal cube here and let's just switch over to rendered view. And let's add in a point light. And let's increase that to like 500 watts. Something like that. So you can see here we have our default cube. And let's just press Alt D once again in order to create a linked duplicate. And what we're going to do now is that we're going to select the original cube and let's add in a material. Let's call this red. And now, as you can see, when I change the color of one of the cubes, both cubes inherit the same properties. And as such, we can see that this saves a lot of time when you're duplicating the same things over and over again. And this is also the same logic and mechanics that's used in geometry nodes when you're duplicating a lot of different meshes onto a plane, a cube, or any other mesh. So that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. I know that it was a bit of a shorter video today, but I hope that all of you could learn something from today's video. Again, we learned about instancing, where you can link duplicates to one another and you can edit their editing data, their mesh data, their animation data, as well as their texture data in order to quicken your workflow and ensure that your computer doesn't run out of processing power when you're trying to render a scene. Thank you everyone again for watching until this point of the video. If this video helped, make sure you go down to the description box, click the subscribe and like button because it really helps this channel grow. Thank you everyone again for watching, but if you're not done watching any more Blender content, make sure you click on the video in the middle of the screen to take you to another video of mine. Goodbye!